जय जय श्री राधे। सब वैष्णवों को जय श्री कृष्ण। वाह, कुंभन दास जी की वार्ता चल रही है. It's number 83. Varta number 83 out of the 84 Vaishnava stories of Sri Vallabhacharya ji. And it's part 11 with Bhav Prakash. Kumbhan Das offered those mangoes with all his heart, and so Sri Govardhanaji accepted them. By eating those Mahaprasadi fruits, the Rajput received the grace of the Lord. When one of Sri Thakurji's dear Vaishnavas offers something to their beloved, he surely lovingly accepts it. Mahaprasad has extraordinary powers. There is no doubt about it, nor can it be adequately explained or imagined. Jai Shri Radhe. Part 11 continued. The Rajput had 2 sons. They came to see him. He told them, "I am a soldier and I would probably have uselessly lost my life in some meaningless battle. Therefore it is surely the great grace of the Lord that I am here like this. However, please now regard your father as dead, as in much as you must now look after your own lives and do not wait for me. I will not be coming back." The 2 sons went home and told the whole family that their father had become a renunciate. Now what should we do, they wondered. After that they stayed at home, but gave up false attachment. Bhav Prakash. Here it is shown that Mahaprasad and the blessings of great devotees are a huge reward to divine souls. Part 11 continued. What an amazing Vaishnava was Kumbhan Das, who was able to convey such great blessings to that Rajput simply through the means of the mangoes. Therefore one should regard as divine the actions of such devotees. Sri Govardhanaji is captivated by great devotees. Kumbhan Das's family members, his wife and 5 other sons, had his family name but no other connection. However, they were still uplifted by his association. His niece, his brother's daughter, got married but widowed almost immediately. In this way she was also spared from her worldly attachment. Bhav Prakash. Kumbhan Das's niece was a divine soul. She is a Sakhi of Sri Vasakaji named Sarovari. Her father had died, and so she lived in Kumbhan Das's home. On one hand, she was with Sri Vishakaji's Sakhiji, and on the other, she had the privilege of the association with a great devotee like Kumbhan Das. Hence, Sri Govardhanaji gave her his holy sight and the experience of his direct contacts. Part 12. The occasion of Sri Gosaiji's birth date came round. Sri Govardhanaji thought to himself, Sri Gosaiji and all the Vaishnavas always celebrate my birthday, so now I shall celebrate Sri Gosaiji's. On the 8th day of the dark half of the month of Posh, Ram Das was adorning the Lord and Kumbhan Das was singing about it. Sri Gosaiji was in Gokul. Then Sri Govardhanaji spoke to Ram Das. Sri Gosaiji always celebrates my birthday with great aplomb. I now want to celebrate his. All of you should get together and make arrangements for the special offerings and celebrations tomorrow. Ram Das asked, "O Maharaj, what would you like us to prepare?" Govardhanaji replied that he wished them to prepare juicy jalebis. Ram Das and Kumbhan Das agreed. After completing the service, Ram Das called all the temple servants together and told them about the next day's intended birthday celebrations and what they needed to prepare for Sri Govardhanaji. Sadhu Pandey told them that they could take as much ghee and flour as they wanted from his house. Kumbhan Das went straight home. There were no stores in his home, so he sold his 2 buffalo calves, 1 male and 1 female, to a Brajwasi for 5 rupees. And he brought the money to Ram Das. All the other temple servants gave whatever they could, 1 or 2 rupees each, and they bought ghee sugar with this. Sarupande brought the ghee and flour. They spent the whole night making jalebis. In the morning, Ram Das gave Srinathji a special oil rub, bathed him, and then dressed him up in a saffron-coloured fancy-frilled turban and clothes which Sri Gosaiji had sewn with his own hands and sent from Gokul. Then they offered the jalebis. Sri Govardhanaji said to Kumbhan Das, "Please sing a song of celebration for Sri Gosaiji," and he sang, Pad Rajdev Gandhar. Today there is a celebration at Sri Vallabh's door, for the Supreme Lord has manifested in order to spread great grace. The best fortune has arisen for the divine souls. He uplifts those who depend on his grace alone. Kumbhan Das now states, Sri Govardhandara, along with Sri Vallabhacharya and Sri Gosaiji, constitute the very essence of all scriptural and Vedic teachings and practice. Rag Sarang. Sri Vallabh has appeared again. He has come to spread the bliss of Seva and the secret knowledge of the Lord's pastimes. He has purified all his own souls. Now every house is decorated with festive banners. Kumbhan Das sings the glories of Sri Krishna, the upholder of the Sri Giriraj mountain, and the bards all praise his glories. In this mode, Kumbhan sang many more songs of celebration. This is part 12 continued. Sri Govardhan Nachi enjoyed them so much. Sri Gosaiji and Gokul bathed and adorned Sri Navaneet Priyaji in similar style, and then, after completing the Seva, travelled over to Jetipura. Ramdas told him that the Lord's lunch had just been offered. Sri Gosaiji bathed and entered the temple up on Sri Giriraji. When the time came, he went inside to accept back the offerings and saw all the baskets of jalebis there. He asked Ramdas, "What festival is it today that you have made so many special offerings?" Ramdas told him, "Today Sri Govardhan has celebrated your birthday." He got all the temple servants to chip in. Sri Gosaiji took the offerings and then performed the waving of lights ceremony. When he had settled the Lord down for a bit of rest, he went to his sitting place. He called Ramdas there and said, "There is a lot of prasad, and there are only a few men who serve here, and most of them are poor. So how are you able to afford making all those preparations?" Ramdas answered, "Sadhu Pandey gave the flour and the ghee, and Kumbhan Das gave 5 rupees. Everyone else gave 1 or 2 rupees. They all gave as much as they could. In this way we collected 21 rupees. With this we bought sugar. The Lord accepted all of this." Kumbhan Das came there and bowed to Sri Gosaiji, who asked him, "Where did you get 5 rupees from? I know the state of your home." Kumbhan Das replied, "O Maharaj, where is my home? It is only at your lotus feet. Everything I have is yours. I had some buffalo calves that we didn't need, so I sold them. If I offered even my body, life, breath, home, wife, and children to you, then only my duty as a Vaishnava would be fulfilled. O Maharaj, I am a worldly householder. How am I supposed to keep to the righteous path for a Vaishnava? You have graced me, knowing to be a pauper." Hearing these words of Kumbhan Das, Sri Gosaiji was overwhelmed. He said, "This kind of humility can only be found in those whom Sri Acharyaji has graced. The Lord always remains with such souls." Sri Gosaiji praised Kumbhan Das a lot. Thus he was the recipient of great grace. Part 13. Once Kumbhan Das inquired of Sri Acharyaji, "What exactly are the principles of the path of grace?" Sri Acharyaji then blessed him with an explanation of the 84 offences, the qualities of the Rajasi, Tamasi and Sattviki devotees, and the whole of the Seva from morning through to the evening. He also told him about the Lord's pastimes as a child and as a young man. Then he said, "In this present age, it is only those to whom Sri Govardhan Nachi graces." He also told him about the Lord's pastimes as a child and as a young man. Then he said, "In this present age, it is only those to whom Sri Govardhan Nachi graces. It is only those whom Sri Govardhan Nachi graces who will ask such questions and act accordingly. It is only Vaishnavas like yourself who will do this. After not too long, terrible times will come. Then no one will ask and no one will be able to give the right answers." These were Sri Acharyaji's teachings to Kumbhan Dasji. Bhaprakash, why? It is said that a lioness's milk can only be kept fresh in a bowl of pure gold. In the same way, the Lord's pastimes, their inner meanings, and all the devotional righteousness can only be nurtured in the heart of a graced Vaishnava, otherwise not. Part 14. One day, Kumbhan Das inquired of Sri Gosaiji, "In my house live my wife, 5 of my 7 sons, and all of their wives. But none of them have any love for Sri Nachi. My niece does have love for him. Why is this?" Sri Gosaiji, addressing all the Vaishnavas as well as Kumbhan Dasji, said, "Listen carefully and concentrate. I will tell you a story from the Puranas." Everyone listened attentively, and Sri Gosaiji recounted. There was once a Brahmin who had 1 daughter. When she was of marriageable age, her father asked another Brahmin to find a suitable husband for her and to arrange the engagement. He went off to do his bidding. The girl's father then asked 3 more Brahmins to go and do the same thing, and the 4 of them went off in different directions by the wish of the Lord. There were a few towns not too far away, and the 4 Brahmins each found a husband for the girl. The marriage ceremonies were arranged for 1 month later. When they had all anointed the foreheads of the prospective husbands, they came back to the girl's father, and each of them told him that they had arranged her engagement, and the wedding would take place after 1 month. The Brahmin with the daughter then asked him, "What have you done? I have only 1 daughter. How can she get married to 4 different men?" The 4 Brahmins retorted, "We only did what you asked, what you told us to, and we've arranged the engagement. After 1 month, if the girl does not get married, we will be forced to kill ourselves, and the blame will be on you. The engagements cannot be broken." The Brahmin's father replied, "All right, but there is still 1 month to go. Let's see what happens." The 4 Brahmins each said, "On the day fixed for the marriage, I shall come to you to perform the marriage ceremony." Saying this, they all went off to their respective homes. The girl's father became extremely anxious. "How will I get out of this?" he thought. "If I die, it will be very difficult for my daughter. Oh, what to do?" He was so worried that he could neither eat nor drink. And he did not eat for a whole 4 days. On the 5th day, when he was sitting by the river to perform his evening prayers, a great devotee came there and stopped to bathe. The Brahmin was weeping and calling out in anguish. Devotees have soft hearts, and so that Vaishnava could not bear to see the grief of the Brahmin. The Vaishnava asked the Brahmin why he was so unhappy as to call out and cry. The Brahmin told him, "Look, normally I do not stay in one place, but I will sit by this river for your sake. Do not tell anyone I am here. On the day before the wedding, you come to me and tell me the marriage is the next day. The Lord will arrange everything. For now, please go home and have something to eat and drink." The Brahmin agreed. On the day before the weddings were due to take place, in the morning, the Brahmin approached the devotee and reminded him that the weddings were scheduled for the next day. "Please tell me the plan," he supplicated. The Vaishnava said, "Come back in the evening." In the evening, the Brahmin again approached him. The devotee told him to catch any animal or bird that passed in front of him, and then to bring them to him. The Brahmin sat near to the river. He caught a cat, a dog, and a donkey. The devotee told him to lock the 3 of them in a room, and then, when his daughter fell asleep, to lock her in the same room. When the girl fell asleep, he moved the whole bed she was sleeping on into that room with the animals. The devotee then told the Brahmin to get ready for the wedding. When the night had passed, the 4 chosen husbands arrived, and the Brahmins who had selected them also came there and sat them down respectfully. The time for the wedding ceremony arrived. The girl's father told the devotee that the time had come. The devotee said, "Open the door and give the 4 girls away in marriage." The Brahmin opened and looked the lock and saw that there were 4 girls inside, all of the same appearance and age. They were all the same, and he did not know which was his own daughter. The 4 weddings were performed. The new brides were all sent off to their respective husbands' houses. He gave the 4 Brahmins their fee and sent them off too. The devotee also took his leave. The Brahmin said to him, "You have saved my life, therefore please feel free to take whatever you want from my house." The devotee said that he really did not want anything. "It was the Lord and not I who took your grief away. This is the main thing." The Brahmin asked him, all the 4 girls looked exactly the same. "How will I be able to tell which one is my girl and whom she married? If I want to invite her home, how will I know whom to call?" The devotee replied, "Just ask your 4 son-in-laws about the girl's character. You will soon find out. The one with human qualities will be your daughter." Having said this, the devotee left. After a few days, the Brahmin called each one of his son-in-laws to his home. He had a meal cooked for all of them. Whilst they were eating, he asked, "Is my daughter a suitable wife? What are her qualities?" The first one replied, "She is very nice, but she barks like a dog. She cannot control her tongue, and neither is she very clean, so I cannot love her." He then inquired of the second husband, asking him exactly the same questions. He replied, "She has some fine attributes, but she is a bit of a glutton. She even steals away the little dishes we would prepare for the Lord and eats them. She is like a cat and needs to eat from 5 different houses before she can be satisfied." The Brahmin then called the 3rd son-in-law and asked him about his bride. He said, "Your daughter has some fine qualities, but when she comes home she brays like a donkey and is always grubby and kicks everybody with her 2 feet like a donkey." He then asked the 4th son-in-law what were his daughter's merits. He answered, "How can I describe how wonderful she is? She is a divine being like Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth. She speaks quietly and kindly to everyone. She behaves immaculately. Her actions and thoughts are pure. She loves her husband, her guru, her lord, and Vaishnavas." Hearing this, the Brahmin knew that this was his daughter. He called the couple over to his home. "Therefore, Kumbhan, only the person who has Vaishnava qualities is truly a human. Someone may simply have a human body. Ravan and Kumbhakarna, though human in appearance, were really demons. A person's true form is known through their actions. Your niece is indeed a great Vaishnava, and through your association, she will attain spiritual perfection." This is how Sri Kumbhan Gosai taught Kumbhan and all the Vaishnavas. Kumbhan was thus a recipient of Sri Acharyaji's great grace and an accomplished Vaishnava. This is part 14 concluded. Tomorrow, on day 110, you will hear part 15. So for now, we rest here. Jai Shri Krishna. Shri Kumbhan Ji ki jai, Shri Varta ki jai, Shri Gosai Ji ki jai ho, aaj ke Anand ki jai ho, Jai Jai Shri Radhe Ji.